As I was getting my supplies organized, I heard a sound downstairs. I went down to find a spider zombie banging on some of the equipment. I knew I had to take care of him quick before he made too much noise and attracted other zombies. Unfortunately, I couldn't reach him from this angle. The equipment was in the way, so I circled around to get a clear shot. I used the last of my stone arrows to get him down to half health, but then I knew I'd have to go in and face him. Using the boat hook, I got a good jab in, switched to the boat oar, and suddenly I was out of stamina. The spider zombie was just wailing on me, shot after shot after shot. I managed to stab him with my bone knife while I healed myself, but another shot and I would have died. I got lucky that the bone knife caused a bleed and he bled out and died. If he had not bled out, I probably would have died right there. As it was, I was left exhausted, wounded, still infected. I took some vitamins to help get rid of the exhaustion and then headed upstairs to try to get some rest. As day 4 began in the zombie apocalypse, I knew the next things I needed in order to improve my armor, improve my base, and to stay alive was going to be the maintenance station and the research station. So I bandaged myself up. I used thread and needle to close up the incision from the spider zombie, and then headed downstairs. I heard some banging, and of course all night I'd been hearing zombies walking by and in the area making noises. But I was hoping that as the day began they wouldn't pay attention to this building. Went outside and discovered it was just a single crawler. Looked like he was kind of stuck in a corner there. Saw some zombie loot, possibly left over from zombies battling a wolf I heard last night. But even as I became relieved that there was only the one crawler, another 5, 6 zombies came stumbling into the parking lot. I decided it best just to try to get rid of them. I didn't want them hanging around. But after taking out a couple, I decided it was safer just to head out and get the supplies that I needed. I was hurt, infected, my armor was wearing out. With the maintenance station, at least I could get my armor and weapons repaired. So I gathered a lot of the materials I would need. Things like logs, sticks, resin. Right off the bat, I already knew how to make the carpenter's bench, the research station, and the maintenance station. But now, going forward using those, I could then learn how to make some of the additional workbenches I would need. And supplies. Of course, while I was out, I was also keeping an eye out for honey. tree stumps. I knew now at least I had enough honey to make one helping to bring my infection down. Unfortunately, that would only bring it down by about 5%, so I was still going to be in pretty bad shape. I thought I could loot this truck before the zombie got there, but with them on jog, they move a lot quicker than your shambling, walking zombies that I was used to on TV. I'd only been outside of the base for a couple of hours and I was already nearly dead again. Heard a tourist zombie, but it's like, oh, no problem. He's behind those bars. It'll take him a while to get through. I'll go ahead and keep looting around here. No sooner had I taken out the crawler zombie and looted a nearby backpack, and he was already through the metal bars. Never wanted to back down from a fight. I decided to take him out. Especially when it comes to those tourists. They are some nasty zombies. Again, I got lucky due to a bleed. I don't think I killed the tourist. I think he died from bleeding out from a shot I gave him with the bone knife. I was thinking I may want to invest some of my time in researching how to better use the knives and blades to cause those bleeds. Found some useful items in a low power truck. And then now back at the base, the parking lot was clear, so I looted up some things around the parking lot. On my way back up, I was pretty sure, noticed another wandering horde stumbling by. I don't know if this was just a high traffic area or if every area was a high traffic area. But I was hoping they wouldn't hear me way up at the top of this building. I really needed to come up with a way to fight them in case they did hear me. As it was right now, they could just come right up, knock on my door. At least they'd get up to that ladder on the fire escape. So I believe I had all the supplies I needed for the research station, and then I'd gotten stones for the campfire, or cooking fire, which I needed desperately. I was very happy to have that. Outside I could hear that wandering horde beating on buildings nearby. Grabbed up my cooking pot, cooking grill, meat, and eggs. Go ahead and start making myself some bacon and eggs. Finish the research table. So I put that out. Started on the maintenance bench. To make the maintenance bench, you needed the wooden hammer So I got to work on that on the carpenter's table. Very unnerving hearing the zombies out there. Decided I wanted the research table a little bit out of the way. Don't use the research table that much, but you do use the carpenter's table and the maintenance bench quite often. Unfortunately, the initial maintenance bench isn't sufficient to repair iron weapons like my boat hook, but it was enough for a lot of the other weapons. I still needed some pipes to repair the shotgun and the pistol. But I was able to repair just about everything else. I'll get to my armor a little bit later. Got myself organized, grabbed some firewood, started working on the honey and on the bacon and eggs since I was hungry. And I started to hear a noise that sounded like zombies beating on the base now. Not on a separate building, but on my building. So I got prepped as quick as I could. I heard them breaking things, I knew I had to hurry. So I quickly headed downstairs. Very disappointing to see I still hadn't repaired my armor, but at least I did have a few more shotgun shells, which should help. Again, they seem to like that corner. I need to open that up somehow. But as I went to circle around, there were many others who had already wandered in. So I took them on, kiting them around a little bit. I was noticing the boat hook really wasn't doing a lot of damage. The ore was doing okay, but it used a lot of stamina as far as I could tell. I had an idea. I thought I would lead the zombies in and see if they could trip that landmine that's in the bathroom. They started banging at the door outside, and the ones who did follow me didn't go into the stall that had the landmine in it. So the landmine was still there. So I had to make my way back around so they didn't bust through that door. I liked having at least that security there. Didn't have an abundance of shotgun ammo, so I really couldn't just sit there blasting all of the zombies, but at least whenever I could get them lined up, I was able to take a good shot at them. Get the most use out of them I could. Getting as much use as I could out of that bone knife, too. It was, really giving out. And it looks like that mess was cleaned up. Oh, No, I could hear some more inside. Went back inside to finish off whatever was left. Still having trouble with stamina. When you're infected, your stamina regens a lot slower. So use a power attack or two and you're completely exhausted. You already busted that door out. That's probably what I heard break earlier. I was going to need to seal that up. Probably just seal it up completely, not replace it with another door. Okay, now I think the zombies are done. Made my way back up to the top. And now I'd finally take all of my busted armor and see what I could repair. The scrap boots repaired with scrap iron. Scrap iron gloves repaired with scrap iron, but unfortunately I did not have enough to repair those. The padded leggings repaired with cloth, which I had plenty of, and the helmet repaired with scrap iron again, which I did not have. So I needed to go out and either loot some scrap iron that you might find lying around, or use my pick to break down some iron items or metal items like cars, refrigerators, ovens, any sort of iron items I might find. I checked how much it would take to upgrade my maintenance station because I wanted it to be able to repair my boat hook, but it's needed a little bit more than I had. There's more iron. Thing is, you don't really collect a whole lot of scrap iron until you have a wrench. And with the wrench, you get scrap iron as you wrench other things like televisions, refrigerators, that sort of thing. I ended up having enough materials to make a few blocks. I thought what I could do is make a little shortcut for myself here on the stairwell. Instead of going all the way around to get up every time, up through the office, out onto the roof, up around to the fire escape, I thought by putting maybe 1 or 2 blocks at that section would make it so I could get across, but any zombies that might follow me could not. So I had to see if I could make myself some arrows, but unfortunately I'd used most of my sticks in or on other things, so I only had enough for making 2 arrows left. But still, that's better than none, so made them and brought them along. Didn't want to accidentally fall down the stairwell, so decided to add an additional block. Make it a little safer. Of course, if I was encumbered, I wouldn't even be able to make that jump, so I better keep these blocks with me. And now I was making my way to the mission at the restaurant and stumbled across a airdrop that was on the way. Had random selection of books, and some food. That's good. I would check the books later. I attracted the attention of a dire wolf, a massive wolf, and of course, as I was shooting it, I attracted the attention of some other zombies. These things always seem to come in groups. Of course, the benefit of killing a giant wolf is you get a giant amount of leather, meat, bones, animal fat. Very, very happy to get stock of that. At the restaurant, the rain had finally stopped. At the restaurant, I started the mission with my one remaining arrow. That was going to make things very difficult. I'm really much more practiced in stealth type attacks where I kill the zombie with an arrow first before doing any kind of melee, or at least attack them with an arrow first before I get tangled up in any sort of melee. But now I was going to have to jump right into melee attacks right away. Sometimes it can go smoothly like that. I'd looted so much thread. So far I was worried I was going to be suffering a lot of lacerations to make the thread useful. But we would see. The SUV there was locked, so I didn't have any lock picks yet, so I had to leave it. Had to trigger the bird. Mistime the swing. And used my last bandage to heal that. Now, I did have some painkillers that I could use if worst came to worst. They do make you thirsty, but of course, still better than death. Made sure everything was looted, headed up. Again, I knew there would be some sleeper zombies lying around, and normally with my bow and arrow I could pop them and be done, but now I had to wake them up on purpose. I really didn't have any other choice. Led the zombies around in a little bit of a circle on the roof of the fast food restaurant. Again, the knife helped cause a bleed to do some additional damage. To be honest, I wasn't really digging the boat hook. The boat oar was doing okay as a club, but I didn't really see the boat hook as draining a lot of health from the zombies. Unless I could really get in a clean headshot, which wasn't easy. Sounds like something outside killed a chicken. As I made my way through the restaurant, I could hear footsteps outside. Figured at some point it would get triggered either by my own sound and movement or by one of the zombies. And it was mine. It sounded like maybe hitting the metal got their attention. Got some interesting loot out in the main eating area. And then with the zombie busy banging on doors, I made my way to the back kitchen area. Was hoping they would step up for some service. Hearing the wood breaking outside of this fight, I figured something was either in or getting in. And sure enough, there was another zombie in the building. Had to take care of her. And while dealing with her, the bow hook broke. So I resorted to the shotgun, which of course draws even more attention. But yeah, the boat hook was broken now, and I knew I couldn't fix it on my maintenance bench as it was. So I started thinking about maybe building another stone spear, or of course, looking to see if I find another type of spear and loot. While the zombies were beating on the metal reinforced exterior door, I decided to make my way through. My mission was complete, so all of the zombies indigenous to this restaurant were dead, or gone. All I had to do was grab the loot. Found a nice scrap knife that was superior to the bone knife, which I'd been getting a lot of use out of. So I grabbed that. Having an even better knife should help a lot. Found a new gun and thankfully a few new bandages. I was very happy to have those. At some point I would compare the new pistol I got to the scrap pistol I already had. See which one's better. There were some other things I could have grabbed. I think there was a couch in there. There was a business chair that I could get leather out of, but it was getting late. I really wanted to see if I could make it to the trader before the end of the day, but even as I got out of the restaurant and started heading that way, I realized I was too far to get from the restaurant to the trader and then back to my base, and probably too far to even go from the restaurant to the trader and then back to the laundromat, which I knew was kind of close and had a safe spot that I could stay in overnight if needed. While there was still a little bit of time left, I think this zombie had already noticed me and I didn't want him to bother me all night or maybe bring friends, so I decided to get rid of him. Day 4 was just a rough day of getting hit by zombies over and over and over again. But at least I knew again I was in a safe place. The zombies didn't have any way to get up here. The ladder was broken. And I sat down to rest. I'd completed the mission. In the morning, I would make my way back to the trader, and then I'd grab some significant scrap iron. Oh, I forgot about those books. I grabbed some books, so I opened those. A book that keeps you from, makes it less likely you'll catch on fire was a good one. One that improves arrows, and then a one for machine guns, which I didn't have one yet, but I'd hope to have one of those soon. So again, I curled up on the top of the laundry mat to rest for the night.